Welcome back. This is lesson 3.9 journal, distance on the coordinate plane. I will be able to correctly find the distance between any two horizontal or vertical points on the coordinate plane. Vocabulary for this lesson: horizontal is left to right, straight left to right. Vertical, straight up and down. Coordinate plane, this thing. Ordered pair is the coordinates of a point on the coordinate plane. X coordinate is the first one that tells us how far left or right. Y coordinate is the one that tells us how far up or down. And absolute value, if you'll think back to chapter 2, or not chapter 2, but back to, lesson 3.4, that is how far a number is from 0. So here it says plot point A at -2, +3 on the coordinate plane. So I'm going to go 2 to the left, -2, +3, and we're going to label that point A. Okay, it says point B and point C are points that are horizontal from point A. Place a point anywhere that could be point B and another for point C and record their coordinates below as an ordered pair. You can do the two that I do, or you can pick your own two as long as they are horizontal from point A. So point A, I'm going to put point B right here. See how that is horizontal from point A? And I'm going to put C right here. All right. So down here, point A was at -2, +3. Point B, I put at -5, +3. And point C, I put at +2, +3. Okay, step 3. Point D and point E are points that are vertical to point A. Place a point anywhere that could be point D and another for point E and record their coordinates below as an ordered pair. So on this, we're going to do vertical points compared to point A. So you can do my 2 points, or you can pick your own two as long as they are vertical. So point D, I'm going to put right here. And point E, let's put it down so the points for point D, we have -2, +4. Yours might be different. Go ahead and record whatever you put. Point E, I have at -2, -4. All right, so you should have 2 horizontal points compared to point A and 2 vertical points compared to point A. Now it says, what do you notice about the coordinates of the original point A compared to the coordinates of the horizontal points B and C? So look at this, and then look at these 2 horizontal points. What do you notice? Okay, when I look at these, no matter what you have, if yours are different than mine, as long as they are horizontal, you'll notice that the Y coordinates are the same exact thing. So the Y coordinates are identical. The X coordinates are not. So the X coordinates are different. What do you notice about the coordinates of the original point A compared to the coordinates of the vertical points D and E? So if I look at these, notice that my x coordinates are exactly the same. My y coordinates are different. So the x coordinates are identical. But the y coordinates are different. So, without graphing them, which of these points will be horizontal from each other? Highlight in the same color. Okay, you should have 2 highlighters. You should also have a red pen. So, if you need more than 2 colors, go ahead and pull out your red pen. So, we're looking for points that are going to be horizontal from each other in this. If they're horizontal, then our y coordinates will be identical. So if the y coordinates are identical, I have 6, -2, -3, 6. Okay, those two have to be identical. 6 and 6. Those are horizontal to each other. Do you see anything else with 6 for our y coordinate? We're only interested in the y coordinate. Oh, there's another one right there. These are going to be horizontal to each other. I see no others with 6, so I'm going to pick a different color. Okay, -2, -3. I'm only interested in change if they are. The x coordinates would be different if they're horizontal. So, -2, -3, -5, 4, -2. I've seen that one before. So this point and this point are going to be identical to each other, or are horizontal from each other. Do you see anything else here that would be horizontal to each other? If you have another color, go ahead and pull out another color, or you can just circle it in your red pen. That's what I'm going to do. Except my red pen just busted, so maybe I will do another color. So -3, 5, 4, -5, oh, -5 and -5. Those are going to be identical to each other, or horizontal from each other. I've also think I saw 4 twice, right there, right there. This time I'm going to underline. How's that? So we can keep them different. So I saw a +4, so this one and this one are going to be horizontal from each other. -3, -1, -3. Okay, those ones are going to be horizontal to each other, so I'm going to underline them just so we can keep them separate. So do you see how that's going to work? Without graphing them, I know that they'll be horizontal because their y coordinates are identical to each other. So without graphing them, which of these points will be vertical to each other? So we learn from being vertical that the x coordinates are identical. So now I'm looking at the same points, but this time I'm looking at the x values. So -2, -3, -2. Okay, those two are going to be vertical of each other. I see anything else with -2 right there. -2. Okay, those 3 are going to be vertical from each other. -3, -3. Those 2 are going to be vertical from each other. I see no other -3s. Okay, your red pen. +3. I don't see anything else with +3. +6. Don't see anything else there. -4. Don't see anything else there. -5. -5 and -5, those are going to be vertical of each other because my x's are the same. +4, -1. Alright, so right there, you just figured out how we can tell if they are horizontal or vertical from each other. Now, how's that going to be helpful? when we need to find the distance between numbers on the coordinate plane, it's easy to do if they're vertical or horizontal from each other. And in 6th grade, that's the only distance you're going to need to be able to find. So here it says, look at the graph above and figure out the distances between point A and point B. Okay, mine might be different than yours, but my point A to point B, I'm going from -2 to -5. That is a distance of 1, 2, 3 units. I can do that because it's straight horizontal. Now, if I was going like C to E, see how that's slanted? If it's not straight up and down or straight side to side, you can't just count them. So you are only going to be required to find distance between straight horizontal and straight vertical. So if I know where A is and where B is, I can just count. So that would be a that would be a distance of 3 units. Okay, the distance from point A to point D. Okay, for me, that is a distance of 1 unit. I'm going from 3 up to 4. That is 1 unit. From point B to point C. From point B to point C. I'm going from -5 all the way up to +2. So that's a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be 7 units. Okay, point A to point C. A to C. On mine, yours might be different. So if you graph differently than me, go ahead and count what your distance is. For mine, A to C is 1, 2, 3, 4 units. From point A to point E, A to E, that's going from +3 down to -4, so that's 1, 2, 3 to 0, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 more, so that's 7 total. So that has a distance of 7 units. Point D to point E. D down to E, that goes from 4 down to -4. So 4 to 0 is 4, plus 4 more, that's a distance of 8. Make sure you're doing it according to what you graphed. If you did different, that is okay. Just count the distance between your points. All right, now here it says distance without graphing points first. Are the points -3, 4, and -3, 5 horizontal or vertical to each other? Okay, so what's the same here? We have x values the same. If the x values stayed the same, that means they're vertical of each other because they're not moving left to right. They're only different up and down. So they are vertical of each other. So we can look at the y coordinates. Because that's the part that's different. And we can count the distance between. So how far is it to go from -5 to +4 or +4 to -5? You can count down, you can count up. So starting with 4, I would go to 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. That is a distance of 9 units. So without having to graph and count them, as long as we know these are the same, we can find the distance between the two that are different. So are the points -2, 4 and -7, 4 horizontal or vertical to each other? So they're the same in the y coordinates. If they're the same in the y coordinates, that means they're not moving up and down. So the distance between them is going to be left to right. So they are horizontal from each other. So now if they are horizontal to each other, I can find the distance between -7 and -2. That will tell me how far apart my points are. So we can look at the x-coordinates, because they're the ones that are different, and know how far apart they are. So to go from -2 to -7, I can count down, or I can count from -7 up to -2. So -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2. That's a distance of 5 units. Okay, rate yourself on this concept, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Take a picture and turn the entire thing in on your passport on Google Classroom.